Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I don't know what's going on in Belarus, but one thing I know is that the Russians are bringing not only military personnel, troops, but they bring a lot of tanks and a lot of other stuff. I don't know exactly what the plan is over there. I don't think it's an invasion or anything, but I guess we're going to find out if they let us stay alive. This article comes from Ukrainska Pravda from October 17th, 2022, and this is the title. Russia will send about 170 tanks, up to 200 armored combat vehicles, and about 100 guns to Belarus. Now, where do the Russians get the 200 armored combat vehicles and 170 tanks? Because from what these weasels in the West kept telling us for the past, 5 months, 6 months, Russia is already done. No more weapons, no more drones. They have to buy from Iran, supposedly. No more missiles, but they used about 80 in 20 days as a retaliation to the Kerch Bridge, the Crimean Bridge. These are just unbelievable. So the Russian Federation will deploy about 170 tanks, up to 200 armored combat vehicles, and up to 100 guns and mortars and over 100 millimeters caliber to Belarus as part of the joint Belarusian and Russian force. The source is the head of the Department of International Military Cooperation and Aid to the Belarusian Minister of Defense, Valery Revenka. Now, quote, the total number being sent to Belarus will be up to 9,000 personnel, about 170 tanks, up to 200 armored combat vehicles, and up to 100 guns and mortars of over 100 meter caliber. Meter? I must say millimeter. They put meter here, they put millimeter in the first paragraph. Details. Revenka said that the security threats to the Union State, an organization aimed at deepening the relationship between Russia and Belarus through the integration of economic and defense policy of the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus, are considered to be the deployment of the NATO groups near the borders of the Republic of Belarus in the absence of dialogue, an increase in the intensity of the NATO training activity in offensive topics, and the encouragement of Belarusian tactical elements to overthrow the legitimate authorities in the Republic of Belarus. So the security threats, these were security threats. Previously, the aviation unit of the Joint Regional Force has started arriving in the Republic of Belarus from the Russian Federation. And I would just go to, it says that on October 15, the first train loads of Russian troops arrived in the Republic of Belarus. They said about 1,000 at that time. According to Valery Revenka, aide to the Belarusian Ministry of Defense, the total number of Russian soldiers deployed in Belarus as part of the two countries' joint forces will be up to 9,000. If those are very well trained, there's a problem. If those are just, no. On 16, but they all can use, automatic weapons, but if you have the right commanders, officers, and the right plans, then those 9,000 could be good, regardless how young they are or unprepared. Let's put it this way: as long as they can shoot, that's good. An automatic weapon is the firepower, not the precision. It's the load, the number. It's not the quality, it's the quantity. On October 16th, the State Border Service of Ukraine reported the situation at the Ukrainian-Belarusian border is under control at the moment. No changes had been recorded. The situation with Russian forces in the hinterland is being monitored by the intelligence and similar units of the defense forces of Ukraine. Well, good for you then. Good for you. Good for you. So they think that they deploy those forces because they're afraid of NATO forces being deployed at the border. Well, my gut feeling tells me that NATO troops are already in Ukraine. They have been in Ukraine for some. Say they were there. They were never deployed. They were there before the Russians invaded or started a military operation. I would be surprised if there's no or haven't been any NATO troops, which is United States, French, and British. Some Poles as well. I am almost certain that Poles were over there. The Russians claim that the Polish army was operating in Ukraine, and I totally believe that because I don't have any reasons not to believe it. And the way I know things usually work in this kind of situations, I don't see why. Do you think international law would, prevent them from doing that? Let's be serious. That's one thing. And the other thing is there is not going to be an invasion from Belarus. I would say unless, but with 9,000 people we don't do much, you know what I mean, unless the front will be broken in the east by the Russians, and then they start there, so there's going to be total disarray. Because if you break the front there, if you really want to break the front, the Russians never said they want to conquer the whole country, even though the Western mass media barks all the time that the Russia will stop in, I don't know, somewhere in between Madrid and, I don't know, Atlantic Ocean or something, which I don't believe it a bit. Why? Well, even if you could, why would you do that? You're gonna get so many millions under your, let's say, occupation. How are you gonna be able to take care of them? I mean, you have 140 million people, and what? Europe is about what? I don't even know how big Europe is, to be honest with you. How many? I mean, I can calculate in a few seconds. I mean, what, Germany is about 80 million, France is about 60 or 70 million. That's about what, 140. Then we got Italy. Let's about 50 million or so, I guess. So I guess with 200. Romania about 20 million. Then we got Poland 40. So that's 60. I think it was like 700, but I don't know if it was 700 million. I think it's too much. I don't know. I don't want to say it. I didn't check lately. I think it's about that. But anyway, it's gonna be too many oppressed people than oppressors, and it's never been. And besides, it's not 145 million people oppressing the Europe, because the army is not. It's come on. I don't even know why I got into this stupid topic, because it's a non-starter. Only the weasels in Europe and the Americans think, oh yeah, they're gonna invade Europe. It's impossible. Okay, it's impossible. So that's I don't even know when they want to use it. Regardless, you got 9,000 people over there. 9,000 people is zero. You can't start an offensive with 9,000 people. Come on, and it's too little. That's like a defensive force or the deterrent force. I'm surprised with the tanks, the number of the tanks and the vehicles. Those are more than the 9,000 people. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. I don't know why would they go over there, unless it's a deterrent force. That's all. Otherwise, well, stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.